Closed captioning is brought to you by Cable's Eyewear Retainer. Lightweight, comfortable, adjustable, and waterproof.
When it comes to locating fish on large flats, you pretty well have to use electronics. And I do rely on my Raymarine Axiom when I'm at the console. Usually when I come onto a flat, I try to work my way to the middle of the flat before I start looking for structure or other details that I know will attract the smallmouth bass. Once I start marking it, I'll jump to the front of the boat and turn on my dragonfly. And then I lower my electric trolling motor and I work the area very slowly. Even on the best of charts, when you get onto flat areas, on the chart they'll just show them being the same depth. Good fish, don't jump. Gotta get my anchor mode on, perfect. That guy caught me by surprise. You know, especially if you're using a hook with multiple trebles, like this rip stop, you gotta make sure that the fish is pretty calmed down before you start handling it, because you don't want to get one of those hooks in your hand. Okay, I'm gonna try to gently lift them. Wherever you watch those hooks, okay? One thing that I try to do whenever I work a treble especially is grab it by the shaft, like I have there, so that I don't bend the hooks out of shape. Look at, nice chunky, all these fish are nice and chunky. So it's telling me that they're feeding. And I'm using this lure because it's a feeding presentation, so it works really good. So look at, even for this smaller bass, you can see how long that ripstop is, and this bass didn't hesitate to smash it. And they don't have a big mouth, you know, that's why they call them smallmouth. Look at that nice bright skies. I like those stripes. It's kind of like a tiger stripe on the side. Beautiful to see them go like that. The one thing that I've done with these twitch baits, I've gone to what I would call a longer fluorocarbon leader. Because of the conditions, I'm fishing pretty clear water. So here's my fluorocarbon, it's right about there, and there's my lure. So we're looking at, I'm guessing, about 3 feet or a little bit longer. This is 12-pound fluorocarbon, and then I believe this is 20-pound braid. I prefer to use a braided line when I'm fishing these twitch baits, just because when you set the hook, you get a good hook set, and also when you're manipulating the lure, you know, when I'm casting like this, look, I'm literally twitching it. So I'm casting it out, and if you watch my rod, if my rod moves like a foot or two with that twitching action from side to side, my lure also moves a foot or two. It doesn't stretch like monofilament line. Monofilament line is great if you're finesse fishing, you know, like when I'm steelheading or fishing for panfish or small trout. But for this twitching, to have the most control over your twitch or slash bait, the braid really helps. And also, when they hit it, you get a really good hook set. There's so many twitch baits on the market that I wonder sometimes how people decide which one they're going to get. I really look for a couple of things. The first thing that I look is the profile of the twitch bait. Now, this is called the Shadow Wrap Shad. It's made by Rapala, and you can see that it's got a nice deep body, but it's also thin. If you look at it, it's not too thick. I like that because that gives it a lot of deep flash when it's wobbling. So one of the things that I look at is the body profile of the fish. The other one is the lip. You can see that this has a small, thin lip. So I don't want a lot of wobble. I don't want a lot of this. I want more of the shooting action, left, right, left, right. Fish will either be feeding on shad-shaped baits or more slender, like a smelt or a minnow imitating a long bait fish. And I think from a distance, they can really tell what they want to feed on by the way it looks in the water, by the shape. So this particular size is 10 centimeters long, and it would work really well if you were using it in shallower water, especially less than 7 feet deep, in clear water because of that flash, and in bright sunlight conditions. If you're going to be using a tight knot, it's very important that you leave a little bit of a tag, and always go with the fluorocarbon leader if you're going to be using a braided line of at least 2 to 3 feet long, because that's going to make the lure look a little bit more lifelike without the line distracting from the fish. So I've got a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader here of about 2 to 3 feet long with my braided line. The braid actually helps you in casting distance and also gives you better hook set and also twitching control.